Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to get back into the meat and potatoes of this channel, and that's to talk about the hardware and the things that can help us be better drummers and hopefully help you out to help you become a better drummer in your future live playing, studio playing, playing in your garage with your buddies, playing in your house with your buddies, or just playing music with yourself. And just to improve your drumming. So we're going to really talk about hi-hat placement. We're not going to get really too deep into the hardware. There's a couple of things I'll talk about as far as hardware-wise, but not too much. It's mostly how to set your hi-hats up properly or different ways to set them up, because there's no one way to do it. That's the good thing about drums and music in general, is that there is not just one way to do something. You can do things many ways. It all depends on your playing style and what you're wanting to achieve with your music. So with that, let's get going. So we're going to talk about some different hi-hats, the sound qualities, why you may want to have more than one set of hi-hats in your arsenal. So when you're playing different styles of music, you can choose those cymbals. If you're planning on doing studio work, that's real important that you have different styles and different sets of cymbals, hi-hats, snare drums, and all that. So if one particular thing isn't sounding really good, you can reach in your bag, pull something else out, set it up, and see if that matches the song that you're playing with. So we're going to talk about, I have 3 sets of hi-hats that we're going to talk about. So I have a set of very early 60s Zeldin. It's the standard hi-hats. And then I have a mid-70s New Beat hi-hats. And then I have a set of Paiste 2002 Big Beat 15-inch hi-hats. Most hi-hats that most people play are 14 inches in diameter. You can now, 13, 15, I think they even have 16 sets of hi-hats. Now people are going crazy. They're setting up China Boys and making huge hi-hat sets up out of that. They're using splash cymbals to get a certain sound out of that, out of remote hi-hat. So as we all know, watching concerts and videos and stuff online, that we're seeing lots of ways that you can create very distinctive sounds using hi-hat pedals, remote cabled hi-hat pedals, or just remote hi-hat setups. So we're going to start off with the 60s Zeldin hi-hats, and we're really going to dig into the setup and how I have my hi-hat set up, and then how we can set them up differently depending on what style of music you're playing and what you're wanting to achieve with your hi-hat playing. And we're going to go to that right now. Again. So what we have here is the hi-hat, and as you see, there's quite a good gap right here between the top and the bottom hi-hat, and that's for me when I'm playing on the right side, or I'm doing a lot of music that has a lot of ride cymbal in it, and I want a good chap sound. That's the best. I'm trying to think of a good word to describe this sound here. With it lifted up a little higher, I can get a good capture of the clap of the hi-hat and all that. When I'm playing and I'm using a lot of hi-hat work, then I generally will have it at this level here. And that is so when you're playing, if I need a really tight setup, then I don't have to press as hard on my foot to get that tight click on the hi-hat. And then all I have to do is just release a little bit of pressure, and I get more of the swish and the open, and then just not holding it at all and basically putting my foot, if I go to double pedal. Then I have that. So I can switch back and forth between the double pedal and that. Also have a digital pedal to the left of my hi-hat, which gives me either additional hi-hat sounds, or I can get any sound I want to out of my sample pad here. So anyway, so that's that. So normally, like I have it just maybe a little bit more than that. I'll do like so. That's normally where I like to have my hi-hat. It's basically where you can get the head right in there. If you wanted to, you could always put the meat of your stick and then set it down and then pull it out. And then that's where I like it. So with this view, you can see my secondary hi-hat to the right. This is right now over here. I have my Paiste 2002 Big Beat 15-inch hi-hats over here. We're going to dig a little deeper also on this setup here. This is the DW incremental hi-hat setup, and it's a really neat design. And for those that don't need the cable attachment, they don't need to get the hi-hat effect on the right side. They just want it basically, they want it either tight or they want it a little loose while they're either on their double pedals, or they can get two different effects. So this is tight, get two different sounds. As I said, we're going to get deeper on this in just a second. But that was bad. Okay, that was the secondary hi-hat setup, and we'll dig a little bit deeper into that in just a short bit. But we're going to go back to the main hi-hat, and we're going to talk about how you have an opportunity. I'm sure DW does too, but the Tama Iron Cobra pedal gives you an option to buy a secondary rod. As you can see from the other view, this is a short rod. There's not a lot of the standard rod sticking up because I ordered the secondary one, which is 70% the length of this one. So the new rod that I have in placement right now is only 350 millimeters in length. So I cut off about this much of the rod is not needed because of this angle here that I'm playing on my left side. I have a really tight setup, as you can see, and I've been working a lot on my left hand strength for open hand drumming, and playing with my left hand. The rod was getting in the way with this type of setup, so I ordered the shorter rod. So there again, if you have a large drum set or you have a tight cymbal setup, and if your rod on your hi-hat stand is getting in the way, you can do it the budget way and just cut it off, and then you don't have an option to go back to it if you want to get to a style where you're playing your hi-hat at a higher level. My hi-hat setup is pretty low. My snare is where it needs to be, where when I'm coming down on the snare, I'm not playing, as you can see from the back side. It's basically when I come down and I'm perpendicular to the floor, as soon as I get straight, I'm just about hitting my snare. So that's where I like my snare to be. Sometimes I'll even bring it up just a little bit higher. It all depends. But that's my style. Some people like it even higher, and then they want their hi-hats higher as well too. A couple of reasons. Even before I got a tight cymbal setup on my left side, I always prefer to play my hi-hats on top of them instead of on them, like so. So I'm not hitting the hi-hat like this I'm hitting it on top. So you get a better click with your hi-hat this way. If I want more body, then I just put the body of the stick on the hi-hat, and then I get a deeper or harsher sound too, but deeper. So it's tight and precise, where it's fat and a little harsher with the body of the stick. So again, there's no right way. There's your way. So just set up your hi-hats the best that you like and what makes you comfortable with that as well. Alternate hi-hat setups. This is the DW incremental hi-hat. The model number is the DWSM9214. If let's dig in a little deeper on this. Basically, this is it from here to here is the DW incremental hi-hat setup, and it can attach to any cymbal stand, which is cool. So you just screw it in, and then you tighten it down so it doesn't move, and then you basically, it's kind of neat. It has two felts. So it has the bottom felt, and you put your bottom hi-hat down here, which will show. Then you'll put the second felt on top. You attach your top hi-hat to the top section, and here's a neat part. I believe this is a DW patent, but it comes in great, especially for the secondary hi-hat. So if you're playing hard, and it's happened to us all, where the top hi-hat comes loose, and then basically, between songs, you're lifting it back up and you're attaching this back to the clutch assembly, so you continue the show. With the drum key here, you're able, or drum lock, I should say, lug, you can lock it down, and the bottom section of the clutch here will not fall apart, so you won't lose your top hi-hat during your show. So that's really important. The other aspect right here is this part here, the adjustment. We're going to show that with the hi-hat, but since it's not a cabled setup, you can set your hi-hat to different settings, so you can have it a very tight or very loose setting. So it all depends on what song you're playing and how you want your hi-hat set up. So anyway, we're going to show that real quick. So here we're attaching the bottom section. And by the way, I do have another deeper dive into the DW incremental hi-hat clutch, and you can go back to one of my earlier videos where I did it on the balcony of an apartment that I was staying in for a short period. So we're going to clamp it down. You tighten the bolt down. You put the cymbal down. You get it as tight as you can, and then we're going to lock it down. So now it's tight, and we can loosen it. Tighten it. Get in the middle. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 increments of your hi-hat setting. So you can set it however you need for the song. So the cool thing is during your show when you're playing, if you need a tight setup, as you can see I just did with my stick, I have a tight setup, and then if I need it loosened, I just push until I get where I need it to be. And then I just grab it with the head of the stick, as you can see,
Genius design, pure genius. Give it up for DW. They do. They come up with some great, innovative things for drummers. Got to give it up. DW does make great hardware, and so does Tama, and so does Gibraltar when it comes to supporting the drums that we use. So anyway, that's the DW incremental setup, and the next section of the video, we're gonna show you the difference in the sounds of the Paiste versus the Zelgen, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now we got a different angle, and we're gonna show you some, well, the difference in the cymbals and just basically the technique. So we have the main hi-hats on the left. I'm a right-handed player normally, or most of my life. I've played crossed hand. I am doing more open hand now playing, and that's a reason why I have a right cymbal on the left. It's to force myself while I'm practicing to play more open-handed and left-handed dominant as far as hi-hat and ride cymbals goes. The main reason I got the secondary hi-hat was for basically that reason. So when I'm playing live and I'm doing for more difficult playing on the drums, and I need more of an open hand so I can do some tom fills as I'm riding on the hi-hat. That was the main reason I got this secondary hi-hat, so I could do that. Once I get really strong with my left hand, I probably won't need this one as much as far as a standard hi-hat goes, so I may put some alternative cymbals on here as well. Here's the 60s set of hi-hats, and these are just standard hi-hats. In the mid-60s, Zelgen had standard hi-hats, and then they had the new beats. That's when the new beats, I believe, started coming out. The difference between the two cymbals is the standard hi-hat, basically both hi-hats are the same weight, or they're very close together, where on the new beat hi-hats, the bottom is a lot heavier, or more heavier than the top cymbal, so it gives you a different sound playing. So anyway, here's the 60s. Here's the 70s. As you can hear, it's best too if you use headphones for this, so you can hear the differences in the sounds of the hi-hats. The 60s hi-hats are a little brighter than the 70s. As the music got heavier and all that, I guess Zelgen decided to make their cymbals or their hi-hats, the new beats, a little heavier and sounding as well too. So when it comes to rock and all that, I'll use these 70s. When it comes to playing jazz and older music, I'll tend to go back to this older set of Zelgens here. So that's that aspect, and so now we're going to go and we're going to show the difference between the Zelgens and the Paistes too. So if you're interested, stick around. We got a little bit more to go, and we'll play from there.
Okay, just a quick video to say we're not going to get into the difference between the Paistes and the Zelgens. We don't need to do that in this video, so I'm not sure why at first I was thinking of doing that. It's a waste of all our time. You can go to a store and you can hear the difference in cymbals and all that. So if you want that type of comparison, please comment below. Let me know that you want to hear the difference between Paiste and Zelgen cymbals and the 3 sets of hi-hats I have. I can also dive deeper but you can also just get on YouTube and see people where they've created chinas as hi-hats and splash cymbals as hi-hats. So all that's available to easily see. So thanks for watching. Hope you appreciate and hope you liked and learned something in this video. It's one of my longest ones I've done, and we'll go from there. So let me know. Please comment below. Let me know what's good and what's bad, or am I rambling too much? Just stick to the main subject of the video and just go with that. Do some more, editing, I guess, and take out some of my rambling, or just keep it there. That's kind of who I am anyway. So you get a little bit of my personality from that. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Bye. And the crowd roars.